Today I will be refinishing a mid-century modern bookcase that I purchased at my local thrift store. It is in pretty good condition, has a lot of scrapes and scratches in the finish. There's a big hole in the back panel and a pretty deep gouge in the top shelf, but otherwise should be a pretty fun project. The first step was to remove the back panel. It had close to 50 staples and nails and pins in it, so a few love taps were warranted. I also decided to remove the inner shelves to make it easier to work on. And after that, I cleaned the bookcase with TSV degreaser. It was pretty dirty. It looked like someone probably kept it stored in their garage for many years. And there's not a lot that I can do with the plastic back panel, but it cleaned up really nicely. After cleaning, I used a chemical stripper to remove the existing finish. For this product, I need to apply it in an even coat with an old brush. After 15 minutes, I removed the stripper with a metal scraper. The brand stripper I used is called Easy Strip, and it worked really well if I scraped it off right around 15 minutes, but if I waited too long it dried and was more difficult to remove. Then I used mineral spirits and 4-aught steel wool to take care of the remaining residue and to neutralize the chemical reaction. And after struggling with the vertical surfaces, I decided to go ahead and take the whole bookcase apart to make it easier to work on. Next, I used an orbital sander. I had 120 grit to take off any remaining top coat. There was a decent amount still on the surface. I followed up by sanding with 180 grit, and I decided to do the rest of it by hand. This section at the end of the board was where I kind of glopped the stripper when I scraped. I should have scraped it directly off the board, and it would have saved me a lot of sanding. Once sanded, I wanted to see the natural color of the wood, so I wiped it with some water. I really like this color, but it doesn't match the back panel, so it was necessary to stain. And it was at this point that I realized I was working with different wood species. The top and outside walls of the bookcase were made of walnut, which I love, but the inside surfaces and shelves were a different type of wood. Could have been birch or red oak, I'm not sure. But it was one more reason to use stain and even out the differences in color. I'm using the color American Walnut by Old Masters. I applied it with a foam brush, and then used a shop towel to wipe away all the excess. Here you can see one edge where I accidentally sanded through the wood veneer, but it shouldn't be too noticeable after I stain everything. Next, I painted over the edge of the shelves to hide the plywood layers. And because this is a wiping stain and not a penetrating stain, I can just brush it on and it will be totally opaque. To fill the hole in the back panel, I'm using an epoxy wood filler. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do this, but it was the quickest and easiest method that I could think of. My main goal is to get rid of a major focal point and just blend it in, so at least your eye is not drawn to it. I'm using the same stain to color the epoxy wood filler. Finally, I applied a top coat. I chose an oil-based polyurethane with a satin sheen, and I put on 2 coats, sanding between layers. Here is a quick reminder of what I started with. And here is the completed restoration. All the dings and dents were easily removed, and the new stain and top coat look amazing. I'm really happy with it. See you next time.